Welcome back to Matt Talks Football, and it's match day 18 in Serie A. We are right in the middle of the season, and the league is so tight. I mean, just 9 points separating the top six and 9 points separating the bottom 10. You couldn't be, it couldn't get any tighter than this. Every single game becomes even important during this period because of so many things are at stake right now, and you really couldn't, predict a winner of Serie A, and you cannot really predict who is going to get relegated. It's so tight. So let's go ahead and see what happens during this weekend. Last weekend it was quite a bit of a couple of big surprises, and another set of record by Atalanta. I mean, the way that they are playing, it is really something special, and the question is, can they keep it continue this weekend as well, or will someone is going to finally catch up to them? So let's go ahead and start making a prediction. The first game, it's Empoli versus Genoa. It is 11th versus 13th. Now both these teams are coming into this game with not a good form. Both of them have won just once in their last 5 games, and as I said, both of them lost last weekend as well. I think they are playing after a 1 week as well, so both of them had a good rest. But I think it is going to be one of those games that is going to be quite tight. Both teams are going to just cancel each other out, and I think they are going to come in this game with a mindset that we don't want to lose the game. And I think, unfortunately, because of that, we're not going to get a good game. I think it's going to end up in being a boring game, and I think we are going to get a draw, and I don't think we're going to get a goal out of this game as well. I'm going for a 0-0 draw between Empoli and Genoa. Up next, it's Parma versus Monza. It is 15th versus 28th. Again, these are two teams who are really struggling. Parma have not won a single game in their last 5 games. The last 3 of them have been straight defeats. Parma have just won once in their last 5 games. 4 of them being defeats. Monza on the other hand was the team that have not won a single game in the last 5 games. They're losing 3 on the trot. Both these teams are in all sort of trouble, and both of them are really fighting for a relegation at the bottom. And Monza being the bottom tier team, I think it will be quite a tough game, to be very honest. Which I think will be a hard fought game, and this is yet another one of those games which I don't think is going to be that good to watch, if I'm being very honest with you. And I don't think we are going to get a result out of it. But the way that both these teams play, I think we can expect goals in this one. Not that many, but I think we are going to see a couple of goals. I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Parma and Monza. Up next, it's Cagliari versus Inter. It is 18th versus 3rd. Now Cagliari, they have lost 5 games in a row. They are all over the 3 games in a row coming into this game, and they are all over the place. They are playing against an Inter side who are undefeated in their last 5 games, winning 4 on under trot, and they are looking really good, if I'm being very honest with you. And I just don't see any other results apart from an Inter win, if I'm being very honest with you. And Inter know that how important this game is for them. They are just 3 points behind Atalanta, and they have a game in hand, so they know they are the only ones basically who can catch Atalanta at the moment, and they would hope that they don't slip up anywhere. And I don't think they are going to slip up. I don't see any results apart from an Inter win, and I think it is going to be a comfortable Inter win as well. I'm going for a 3-0 win for Inter. Moving on, it's probably the biggest game of the weekend in Serie A. It's Lazio versus Atalanta. It is 4th versus 1st. Now, Lazio, have lost 2 of their last 5 games, but they're still a very good side. Before that, they were on a really good form, and I would still say that they are in a really good form. They had that 6-0 defeat against Inter, so that was a big disappointment for them. They are going to look at this game now because it feels like Atalanta are Undertaker, and everybody else is the one that who are going against them, wanted to break that WrestleMania streak of Undertakers, and Atalanta are Undertaker at the moment. So Lazio are going to try really hard, and I personally think that this is going to be Atalanta's hardest test yet in their streak. 11 games unbeaten in the league. The record is 17 games that was made by Inter. They still have 6 games to go, and this is, as I said, I think it's going to be a very tough game. Lazio have been really good, but the thing is, against big teams, they have been a bit poor as compared to the other teams, and I think Atalanta could take heart from that. But the fact is, it is an away game, and that could play into Lazio's favor as well. But the way that Atalanta are playing, like, it would be especially if you see look at last game, like, they went behind it. They did not play that good in the last game, and they still somehow managed to win that game and continue their streak. And this just because of that, I think it is gonna happen this weekend as well. I think it'll be a very tight game. Very tight game, very close game, but I think somehow, some way, Atalanta are going to find a way, and they are going to get a win. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Atalanta. Then it's Udinese versus Torino. It is ninth versus 12th. Udinese had a big win last weekend against Fiorentina, so they would be, in the confidence is going to be really high for them, and they are going to look at this game, and they've sort of created a bit of difference between them and the teams below them. There's like a 4 point gap. It's not a big gap, but it's still a quite substantial looking at the league, and they're going to hope that they can continue with that gap, that they don't get dragged back into this relegation scrap that is going on at the moment. Torino, on the other hand, they have been quite inconsistent, and they are right at in the heart of that relegation scrap. They are just they are on 19 points, but as I said, like just there's the teams from 11th till 20th, all of them are in that relegation battle. It's just 9 points between all of them. So, and every weekend, the positions are changing. One team wins and the other one loses, and you see the table flip-flopping. It is so bizarre at the moment. So, and unfortunately for Torino, I think they are going to suffer another loss. I think Udinese are going to win, and they are going to continue to get away from that relegation area. I think it will be a close game, but I think Udinese are somehow going to nick it. I don't think it's going to be an exciting game as well, but in the end, Udinese are going to win it 1-0. Then it's Napoli versus Venezia. It is second versus 90. Now Napoli, they have won 4 out of their last 5 games. They dropped down to a second, but they've not let that bother them. They've continued their winning race. They are still in that title race. They know that as well, and so do the other teams. So they are going to make sure that they continue winning those games and just wait for Atalanta to somehow slip. And all the teams chasing Atalanta, the chasing pack, they know that this is one of those weekends where Atalanta can really slip up against Lazio. So both Napoli and Inter are going to be waiting for that opportunity to take advantage of that. And Napoli are playing against Venezia, who are 19 in the table. They won last week, and it was a big win for Venezia. But I still don't think that they are going to give Napoli that much trouble. If I'm being very honest with you, especially Napoli are at home as well, and I think it will be an easy night for Napoli and their fans. I'm going for a comfortable 3-0 win for Napoli. Moving on, it's Juventus versus Fiorentina. It is 6th versus 5th now. Juventus, they finally won a game last weekend after 4 continuous draws, and it was a very hard-fought win against Monza. You would expect Juventus to win that game easily. I actually went for a 1-0 draw. I thought it was going to be a really tough game for them, and they barely managed to win that game. Playing against a Fiorentina side, like 2 weeks ago, I would have said that Fiorentina are going to win it quite comfortably because they were on a 6-game winning run. But the last 2 match days, they have lost both of their games, and they are looking a bit shaky. That has really affected their title challenge as well. But I think this game is going to be quite interesting. Fiorentina are at home, Fiorentina are away, and Juventus, the way that they play, I think this could be the game where Juventus finally lose that unbeaten streak that they are on. I think they are already out of the title race, if I'm being very honest with you, not because of the points, but just because Juventus play. I think all the other teams around them are in a much better position, and they look more threatening as compared to Juventus in terms of the title charge. And that is why I think and especially playing against Fiorentina, who are a team that they love to attack the way that they play football, I think it's going to be a tough night for Juventus. I think they are going to lose this game, and I think Fiorentina are going to have a really fun in this game. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Fiorentina. Then it's another big game. It's Milan versus Roma. It is 8th versus 10th. Two teams who have really disappointed this season, if I'm being very honest with you. Roma, they won last week, and a big win for them. But overall, they have been really poor, if I'm being very honest. Playing against the Milan side, who themselves, they have been so inconsistent. I think the manager has not really worked for them, if I'm being very honest with you, till now, and there are calls being made to sack him, but I don't think they are going to sack him, because who are they going to bring in that could do a potentially a better job with the squad that they have and the competition, because it's so sort of, I just don't see anybody willing to come. People are going to come in and take a job. It is AC Milan, after all, it's such a big club, but I just don't see the the ownership try going ahead and sacking him right in the middle of the season, because they have not done that bad, they have not done that good, they're just in the middle. Like, their expectation would have been to qualify for Europe sometime, and at the moment they might still end up qualifying for Europe. So I don't think they are going to get a sack. But this game, I think it will be a very weird game of football, if I'm being very honest with you. I expect goals in this game, but I think we are not going to get a result out of this game, because both these teams are not playing that good. They are not playing, they are not so confident. There's no confidence in both of them. They are not in good form as well. I just think that it is going to be goals, but not a result. I'm going for a 2-2 draw between Milan and Roma. Then it's Como versus Lecce. It is a big game at the bottom of the table. It is 16th versus 14th. Both these teams are just separated by 1 point, and so many teams are with them. There are 3 teams with 16 points, 4 teams with 15 points. So as I said, to a sort, quite tight at the bottom of the table. I think it will be quite a fun game. Como are at home. Both these teams, despite being in the bottom of the table, like to play expensive brand of football. They like to attack, and I think this is going to be one game that could take one of those sort of away from from this relegation scrap. I think it will be a hard fought win. I expect goals in this game, and somehow just because I don't know, I'm biased or whatnot, but I think Como are somehow gonna edge it. But I think it will be quite an exciting game. I'm going for a 3-2 win for Como. And the final game of the weekend is Bologna versus Verona. It is 7th versus 17th. Verona, they have just won once in their last 4 games, and they are right at the bottom of the table. Bottom of the table, 17th in the table. It is not looking really good for them. Their performances have dropped quite drastically, if I'm being very honest with you. On the other hand, playing against the Bologna side, who are on an amazing run, undefeated in their last 5 games, and they are looking really good. They really want to get into those European places, and they are going to make sure, and with games like this, they know they have to win if they really want to go ahead and qualify for Europe. And I think they are going to get the win in the end, if I'm being very honest. I think it will be an easy night for Bologna and their fans, and they are going to get the win. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Bologna. And with that, my predictions for match day 18 in Serie A are completed. We will see how many of them are right and how many of them are wrong at the end of the weekend. It becomes very hard every weekend, to predict this, because of how tight and how unpredictable the league is becoming. Like, you really don't know which team is going to surprise you. So it's starting to become quite hard, if I'm being very honest with you. But it is enjoyable as well. So let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comment section below. And do you agree with them or not? And what are your predictions? Make them in the comment section below as well. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 400 subscribers before the end of this year. So please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. 5 days remaining, about 30 plus subscribers remaining. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and help us out. Until next time, bye bye.